Hello. I've been asked to record this video by your instructor, Dr. Strom, who wanted you, the distance learner class, to get the same information about the library that your on-campus classmates did. So, I've chosen to call this presentation Research Tips / Painful Library Truths. First of all, ask for help, always. This is my information. My name is Becky, and this is my email address and my phone number. And even though we might never see each other in person, I thought it would be helpful, for you to see like a picture, just so you can visualize who's talking to you. So here's a recent photo of myself. Yes, you can ask me whatever you want. I see you're looking for Dos Passos. Can I help you for that? The first painful library truth that I'm going to tell you is that even if you're, working with, somebody who knows what they're doing, just be aware there's no such thing as, a magic article that is going to tell you exactly what you want to hear and, in exactly the way that you want to hear it. So if you're looking at, the role of music in the novel that you're researching, maybe don't expect to find an article that talks exactly about what it is you want to say. So you may have to cobble together sources. I call them Franken-citations, just cobble together things from different sources to make your argument. Take notes. It wasn't really a big deal, when you were a freshman and you were only working with maybe 2 or 3 sources. Now that you're entering, a larger field of study, you may find yourself working with 20 different resources. Where did you find that? Is it a book that you found in our collection? Was it an OhioLink book? Which database were you in? What keywords were you searching? These are the kinds of things that you need to write down. Okay, so I always have a Word document open in the background as I'm doing my research, and I just make notes as I go along. It's just a really easy way to keep your sources straight. Do not wait to do this research. If you need to order an article from, say, Interlibrary Loan, it will not get here overnight. Expect a week, to get that one article. And you may have to order an OhioLink book, so, 3 to 5 business days for that to arrive. So don't wait to do your research. And finally, sometimes using database, tricks like database search statements help a lot with your research. So this thing at the end of my sentence here, phrase searching, is in quotation marks because that's what phrase searching is. If you've got a 2-word phrase like civil rights, global warming, Manhattan Transfer, any phrase that you want to keep together, you should put it in quotation marks. Okay? It says Boolean operators. Boolean operators are the and, and the or in that little statement there. Okay, they connect your keywords and tell the machine what to do with them. The parentheses are called a nested search, and I put them around synonyms to indicate that I want the computer to find either one of those. And then the word at the end, truncate, with the asterisk. A truncated search is where you have a word that can have multiple word endings, like the word truncate. Truncated, truncating, truncation. You take off the suffix of the word and replace it with a symbol. And in most of our databases, the symbol is that asterisk that finds all the variations of those words. So, okay? So these are just the overall, things. We're going to move into, and I'm going to show you all the online stuff now. So let's take a look at what we have. This is the library's homepage, www.maag.ysu.edu. I'm first going to show you about searching in MogNet and OhioLink. MogNet is our library's catalog. OhioLink is the statewide library catalog that you have access to. So in MogNet, the search that comes up automatically by default is a keyword search. I usually switch it to something like a subject search, and I'll show you why. If I do my keyword search, Okay, 200 entries, not bad. The majority of these, though, are going to be works by the author, right? And it's sort of in no particular order. Although, notice, a lot of these are in this call number section. We'll come back to that. So, I don't know, keyword search isn't really doing me a whole lot of good. What I should have done from the beginning is a subject search. LC subject is Library of Congress subject search. And it looks very different when you do it. See? The Library of Congress subject search sort of categorizes these works into different areas. So there are criticism and interpretation. There are 13 items with that categorization. Political and social views, diaries, etc., bibliography, etc. So I can look at this one, criticism and interpretation, and bring it up. And so these are all of the books that we have with that subject heading. Now notice that most of them are in this section. Okay, PS 3507. PS 3507, we see it over and over. So the nice thing about Library of Congress is that it puts everything with the same subject headings in the same place. So once you get upstairs and you actually, look at this, you'll see all of these works are sort of right next to each other on the same shelf. You don't have to go hunting around. As distance learners, maybe this is helpful to you. I don't know if you're going to be able to get to the library to sort of browse around, but if you do, here's how you find out where this stuff is. So remember, it starts with the letters PS. Back here on the home page, there is a building guide. And on the building guide, it tells you where everything is located in the building, including call number ranges on each floor. Okay? So the PS call number range that we looked at before will be upstairs on floor 5A of the building, where the call number range goes from PR 1500 to QD 85. So PS is in that range. Okay? So all of those books, all of the literary criticism, books about Dos Passos, those would be on floor 5A. Okay? All right. So, this is Mognet. I can also search the statewide library catalog, OhioLink. So up here you can click on the blue OhioLink button. And there's even more. There were just a few entries in Mognet, but here there's almost 40. There's 40 headings, 3 of which have specifically to do with this novel. Okay? So there are 7 in the first one, and then 1 and 2 respectively down here. So I'm going to look at the first one. Okay. Now any of these that you want to see, you can open up and look at it, and if it's available, you can go ahead and order this. And the way that you order books through OhioLink, and you may have done this, but here's one thing you may not have known. When you do the request procedure, you can click the green request button, you tell it you're from Youngstown State, and then you enter your name and your YSU ID number. Okay? The thing that you may not realize, down here where it says pick up institution, I know that you guys as distance learners are sort of all over the place, physically, geographically. So what if you're up around Cleveland, and Cleveland State is like right by your house? You can click Cleveland State, and they just have the one library, but if they had more, it would list those under pickup location. So you can change this to Cleveland State and the library, click submit, and then your book will be delivered to Cleveland State, where you can pick it up using your YSU ID. Okay? As I said, it'll take roughly 3 to 5 business days for that to go through. Okay? So that's Mognet and OhioLink finding books. I would suggest a subject search. It's just a lot easier. Now, the second part of this is finding articles. And there's several ways to go about that. Let's say that you're out on the general internet. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but if you're using something like Google Scholar, which is a very nice product, But if you find something out on Google Scholar, it might direct you to the publisher's homepage, like the publisher of the journal, where they will ask you for money to access that journal article. Which, who wants to pay for access to a journal article? Never pay for information. What you should do instead is note all of the citation information that's available. Okay, so look on that publisher's homepage and look at the name of the journal, the title and author of the article, and any citation information, so like volume, issue, page number. You take that information back to our homepage to the MOG Journal Finder. Okay, MOG Journal Finder is how you track down a specific journal article. Okay. Okay. So, pick a journal, whatever your journal title is, and you type it in, and it tells you what the full text access is, what's available in the databases. So this particular journal, the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, is in the Electronic Journal Center from 1965 to the present, full text. So all I have to do is follow those links in, go to my volume and issue information that I got from Google, and there's, go down by page number, and there's my article, full text. Okay, so that's using Google Scholar to find a citation to a journal, and then using MOG Journal Finder to actually find it in the databases for free. Okay. The other way that you may find hard to find articles is by requesting them via interlibrary loan. Okay, there's a way to do it within the databases, but if you just want to do it, from the home page, it's under request forms. Request forms, and then journal article. Okay, so request an article not available full text, like on the databases. If this is truly just not available electronically full text anywhere, you can use this to order it from another library. Okay, so now let's actually go into the research databases and see what we can see. First of all, under research guides on the home page, I've put all this stuff onto a research guide. So you click research guides and you go down to English. And under English, there's one for English 3700. That's you, literary studies. And that's me for real. But there are that stuff that I was talking about at the very beginning, Boolean operators, phrase searching, truncation. There are 4 videos that explain all of those things in greater depth, and I would recommend watching them just because for any researcher it's good to know these tricks for navigating the databases. Over here there are all of these things that I've shown you and some additional database resources. We're going to take a look at all of these. Okay, there's a building guide, there's all kinds of stuff. Okay, so this guide is on there. It's available to you. If you forget anything that I showed you, any of the names of the databases or what have you, it's actually on here. Okay. But back on the home page, here we go. A to Z research databases. Let's see what we can find. My strategy for doing research is usually to start in a general database and work towards the specific. So the most generalized database we have is Academic Search Complete. It's very non-specific. There's a little bit about practically every topic you can think of. But it's easy to add more specific databases to my search, and I'll show you how that works. So I'm sitting in here at MOG Library, right, comfortably on campus. You're not here. So when I click here, it goes straight into the database. When you click on it, it's going to ask you to log in. Okay? All it will want is your name and your YSU ID number. So do that and you'll be in. Now, when I was talking about adding databases to the search, this is what I meant. Up here at the top, I can click on Choose Databases. Okay. In general, for this literary search, because we're talking about like the 1920s and thereabouts, I think I'm going to add, in addition to Academic Search Complete, I'm going to add our history databases. And there's two basic ones, America History and Life and Historical Abstracts. I'm also going to add the humanities databases. And finally, the literary databases. And there's two I'm going to add, the Literary Reference Center and the MLA International Bibliography. Those are the two big literary databases that we have. Now, so these are just general databases where I think I might find information about John Dos Passos. However, whatever topic that you're talking about in addition, right? If you're exploring the use of music or the effect of music on this text, you might want to add the RILM database, RILM, Abstract of Music Literature. That's a music database. If you're exploring how the text was affected by the film industry, you might want to add the Film and Television database. Okay, so there's just a lot of different things here that you might want to think about. If you're looking at specifically, the role of the female characters, you might want to add the Gender Studies database and Women's Studies International. Right? So depending on your particular topic, there's all different ways that you can go with this. I'm going to stick kind of generic right now and just stick with a sort of a generic search. So I click OK, and now I can click Show All up at the top, and now it tells me these are the databases that I am currently searching. Okay? So let me see. There we go. Remember when I said to take notes? I would jot down on my Word document that I'm keeping the names of the databases that I'm in and the search that I'm doing. Okay? I'm doing his name, the Boolean operator, and then a phrase search, Manhattan Transfer in quotation marks. Okay? Very basic search. All right. I found 207 articles. There are a number of ways that I can narrow down these results if I wanted to. I can narrow them down by the type, whether I wanted to find, just scholarly journals or just book reviews or just dissertations. I can narrow them down by the full text that if I just want articles that have the full text available, I could put a check mark there. I can narrow it down by the database that it was in. So if I just want to see the articles that were in MLA, I could do that. Okay? So 207 is not really that many articles, so I think I'm just going to look at the list holistically and just go from there. So this one, the use of camera eye technique in Three Soldiers and Manhattan Transfer. Let's say I'm interested in this one. This is called the article's record, and down here I have an abstract, which is like a summary of what the article is about. I have keywords, subjects. I may not have thought to use the term realism. I've got all the citation information. And again, thinking about taking notes. Over here on the right, there's a couple of nice links. Under citation, the cite icon, I click that, and it brings up a list of citations. So are you using APA or MLA? They're both on the list. Okay. Another thing, a lot of people think that if you want to get back to this article, you should copy and paste what's up in the address bar, like you normally would. You don't do that. Over here on the right, there's a link there that says permalink. So you click on permalink, and that brings up a little box at the top, and that is what you should copy and paste. Okay? And then over here, the PDF, the full text is available. So you click on PDF, and it brings up the entire article exactly as it would appear in the journal. Okay? Now, when you find a scholarly journal article, I don't care, where you found it. My advice is to look at the references page. If it's an article that you really like, that really speaks to whatever you're trying to say, look at the references page. What articles or books or other resources did this author use to write this article? So, none of these appear on my list of, 207 articles. So, but if I'm looking for this, I can use something like Mog Journal Finder, to hunt this article down and get it for myself. All right, so pay attention to the references page on a scholarly journal article. This is a resource in and of itself. Okay? Back on my list of results. This is a reference resource. It is a biography in the Literary Reference Center. The Literary Reference Center is exactly what it sounds like. A reference work would be something like a dictionary or an encyclopedia. Okay, so this is like an encyclopedia entry on this author. Okay, now I didn't tell it that I was only interested in the full text, so I've also got articles here that are not online. So this article, for example, the PDF is not available. What it does say is request this item through interlibrary loan. Okay. When I click on this, it's going to ask you to log in with your name and your YSU ID number, and once you do that, it takes you to a form where all of this information is already filled out. The author, the title, all of the source information, it's all filled out. All you have to do is click submit. That request goes to a staff person, an actual person here in Mog Library, who takes that request and searches for this article in other libraries around the state and around the country. And we get this article. They usually scan it and send it to us PDF, but it still does take a little while. Okay, so again, don't wait till the last minute to do your research. All right, so those were some of the databases that we have available. Again, if you have any questions, remember my contact information at the beginning of this video, and please reach out and ask me for help, because this was really just the tip of the iceberg. So reach out and let me know where you have problems. I will be happy to help you. Thank you.